Welcome to At Home with Gibson's.
We have a great show for you today.
So stay tuned. Ginger, a lot of people think of wall decor as framed art, you know, where you've got your mass-produced print that's been matted and framed and looks good, and you found colors that match your decor, and maybe it's a pretty scene that you like. But there's a lot more to it than that. We offer a great range of wall decor. Things like this Kinder Harris piece, where it's a casting that's been silver-leafed and then antiqued, and then put upon another board, and then on top of two more that have been hand finished to create a whole look. So it's more of an art piece, almost like a sculpture, than just framed art.
Derek, these are really great.
Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah, the detail on here, even to where the puddle, where the water is around the feet.
Where it breaks into the water.
Yeah.
This is really something else. So there's two great looks here that are completely different. This is a real modern kind of oriental look.
Right.
That it's a embossed foil. With the crane here, and if you look at the matting, it kind of floats. The matting, 3 different layers of matting that aren't really connected to each other. They float on top of one another.
Oh, that really is great with the water.
Yeah.
It's like a reflection.
And then the brushed metal frame. And then to show the variety, we've also got something like this. This is more of a neoclassic look of a detail of the Michelangelo Sistine Chapel, then done with some abstract color around it. And this is a torn paper that is floating with a gold fillet, and then a suede mat, another gold fillet, and then a beautiful hand frame, a hand tool frame.
You can see the suede. That is beautiful. It's so soft on there. It's kind of a two-tone kind of a look to it.
So there's great looks, and there's a wide variety of looks. That's one thing we're really fortunate here with having 40,000 square feet and all the different products that we have, is that we can appeal to a lot of different tastes.
Derek, these are the pictures that you were talking about.
Yes, these are hand painted on canvas, and then they've been stretched, and they've got rivet detail.
Oh, those are kind of
Aren't
fun.
those
You can
beautiful?
see those from the front.
Yeah.
They stick out like that. And the prices on here, now this is $156, but this is hand done.
Right.
That's not a bad price for that.
No, and I just love that for a kitchen.
Oh yeah,
it's a great
the
look.
strawberries, the pears, and the oranges.
Which is nice. We've got different pieces that can work in any room of the house. This, of course, you know, is more towards the kitchen or dining or breakfast nook. These pieces here are just beautiful. And this could work in a dining room, I think.
A little bit more formal than these. I know, I fell in love. I saw this, and I just love it when the blues like that are mixed in. It's got a really French look to it.
And the carved frame is just impressive.
And I noticed again, too, it's got a couple different mattings again. So that's no longer something that you can't find a lot of. You find a lot of the double matting.
And people look at, you know, the price point on them, you know, $150 to $200. And they say, well, you know, I can get something at a mass merchandiser for $50 or $60. Well, it's only going to have a single mat. You're going to have maybe one carving on the frame. You know, this is where the details come into effect, and details are very important. Another major detail here is that this is, of course, a lithograph. It's been reproduced, but it is signed by the artists themselves.
Oh, yeah, so they actually have a printed signature, and they actually have an original signature on there.
Yeah, so that makes a big difference.
And I noticed that the backs of the pictures are really nice and detailed finished, and it has the wire and the hanger, so that's always the most aggravating thing, is you find something maybe very inexpensively, but then you've got to go buy all the hanging kits and the wire.
And one thing we've learned is just because, let me turn this around here, that on a piece of art like this, just because it has the two hooks here doesn't mean that you can put a wire on there. If you buy one and it does not have a wire on it, don't automatically assume that you can put the wire on, because it may be designed to be hung just by the hooks here.
Okay.
Because we found this by trial and error, that we've gone ahead and just put the wire on there, and it will pull out your hardware because it's too heavy. It's putting too much force on that.
And there goes your mat and your glass. I hate that happens.
And maybe your coffee table or whatever else is underneath there. These two reliefs that you picked out are really, really impressive.
I love them. They're Indonesian.
It's an Indonesian ornament, something that's like a decoration from a temple. And it's been gold leafed, antiqued, and aged, and it's set on a painted piece on the background, signed by the artist, numbered. And once again, we've got the floating mat. If you look, you can see back behind the mat is actually floating. And it's not just a single color mat, it's actually a fabric matting with the fillet around it.
It looks like it says it's a limited edition here. And this is also wood. You would say it's a wood carving on there. That is really beautiful.
So it's a lot different than just your typical framed print.
It's a nice thick
frame.
frame.
And it's a beautiful frame.
Yeah, what is that, like about 2 inches for something like that? So that gives a nice wall decoration as far as not being flat. It gives you some dimension to your wall.
Exactly.
Which is kind of nice.
Well, Ginger, another option for wall decor, besides your framed art, your reliefs, mirrors, whatnot, is tapestries. And that was an area that we brought in about a year or two ago, and has really grown tremendously. A lot of great styles out there, scenes like this, or there's just like almost like a woven rug kind of look, just nice patterns, old looks, new looks. It's really a really great idea.
A lot of color too, again, texture and color. You just can't get enough of that.
And they work really well in rooms where you have a lot of hard surfaces. A lot of people have gone to hard surface flooring, so you get that echo factor. So if you use something like a tapestry on the wall, it helps deaden the sound in the room, keeps things a little bit quieter. What's really nice about this mirror is not only is it a mirror, it's also a light fixture. It's from Fine Arts, and they of course they do the most tremendous lighting. But this mirror is great to use in a place where you need a little bit of light, like a bathroom or a powder room. As a matter of fact, I believe we're using this in the powder room in the model home, where we're doing a mirrored wall and then hanging this on the mirrored wall, so it's almost like a layered effect with the mirrors.
Oh, that is gorgeous. Yeah, and it isn't too strong. It's a nice, that'd be really beautiful to reflect off the secondary mirror.
It's more your accent lighting.
Now, Derek, I noticed on all the mirrors that we've been looking at so far, they also have a beveled mirror. It's not just a flat mirror in there.
And usually it's a larger bevel than, it's almost an inch bevel on each mirror. That's one of the things that adds to the beauty of the mirror. Also, they're true mirrors, where you're not going to get that funhouse look that you see sometimes. I've looked at the mirrors at some of those other stores, and it's like, oh, okay, put on a few pounds or take off a few pounds with them. Also, the hand finishing on the frames, a lot of them are either gold leafed, some are cast resin, which will tend to be a little bit lower price point. Some are actual carved wood, that tends to be a little bit higher price point. Some are metal.
Now, as far as hanging these mirrors, I know that we sell them and we'll gladly package them and get them out to the car for you. Do we do any hanging of mirrors for our customers?
No, we don't do that. We don't like to put holes in customers' houses, and that's not something we get into. Of course, we will deliver it if it's a big mirror, because we've got a big truck. We do have a couple people we can refer to.
Oh, that's great. Some of our designers use, I guess. Oh, that'd be great.
Or your typical handyman can do that.
Gibson's in Fountain Valley. Newly expanded to over 40,000 square feet of the most impressive assortment of furnishings, accessories, and gifts for the home. Unsurpassed quality, beauty, and one-of-a-kind pieces. Gibson's, the store of distinction. Exit the 405 at Euclid in Fountain Valley.
another thing that I've noticed a lot is this is a perfect example of these new lamps that are coming in. Every, again, size, and I know you know so much about the lamps as far as the different names of them.
Well, I love lighting. You know, these crystal lamps here, I get into the aspect of, you know, you've got crystal, you've got bronze, you know, bronze finial, and this fabric shade that's pleated and, you know, with the pattern in it. Just beautiful. I mean, this would make a great blouse.
It is beautiful. Now, I noticed as you're talking, too, here, the little bit of the crinkling and the crunching. Yes. We keep our lamps protected, so they aren't going to get shop worn and get any dust on them. Which is also really nice. If you notice a lot of stores, that is taken right off and they're put right out there on the floor. And that's just a really nice feature.
We want to give everything a good home, you know, and have it look great when it gets there.
You know what I'd like for you to do? Can you take a lamp and kind of go over some of the parts of it with us? We'll go over to one of these.
Sure. You know, the majority of lamps, of course, the shade. Everybody understands the shade. The top part is the finial. Some people, you know, say, well, you know, the finial. What does the finial look like? Oh, I don't know. A finial is a term, you know, on top of fence posts. It'll be on top of a lamp as well, and that is usually what holds your shade in your typical lamp. Then you have your harp, which the harp is designed to hold the shade, you know, using the finial, and it also adjusts the shade to the right height. So if you're looking for a replacement harp, a lot of people, they want to replace their shade, so they'll go buy a new shade. I love the look of that shade, and it sits here, and it, you know, it'll sit up like this, and like, well, what's wrong? Well, the harp is too big, so you'll need to replace your harp. And they have them in various heights. They even have them really small, where sometimes you have to buy a special bulb because it's not large enough.
Okay, and then of course, then you have your on and off.
Right, your switch base, which is your electrical base, and there's a variety of these. This one right here does not have any switch on it.
No, I noticed that when I was feeling around.
Because the switch is on the cord.
Oh, okay.
And usually you'll find that this is true with this type of lamp. This is called the buffet lamp.
So it's a little bit lighter,
narrower.
Okay, but as far as your light, is it shed a little bit less light, the voltage?
It gives a little bit less light. It's more of an accent light instead of a task light. And also, because of the shade being this big, it's hard to get up in there if you were to have your handle here. So the people who designed this thought ahead and said, okay, let's put this in here, the little quick switch here, which is a two-way switch. So you have high and low on this, which is really nice. Also, one thing to look for when buying a quality lamp is this has a generous cord. You can see this is quite a bundle of cord here. Because ideally, when you put lighting in your home, you're supposed to trim your cord and put a plug on there that trims it to the right length, so you don't have a bundle of cord anyplace. So you put it into place, you run your cord, you know, along the wall, or you know, right to the plug. You trim and you plug it in right there.
Oh, you mean you're not supposed to be rolling it up and putting it behind the buffet somewhere?
No. Which is what most of us do.
Yes, that is. Most of us do.
We all do that. Also, some of our better lamp lines actually give you a removable plug, which is really nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you should trim to fit. I did some under cabinet lighting. Instead of doing your mounted under cabinet lights, I just bought some short lamps and did them under the cabinet. I just trimmed the cord right there to fit.
And so it's real nice and sleek looking.
It's a great look. Now, from your harp attaches, of course, to the base, which sits right here. And there's normally a steel rod, a threaded steel rod that runs through your lamp. And as you can see, there's a little end nut. This has also got a weight on the bottom of it to keep it bottom heavy, so it doesn't tip over.
Oh, yeah, because a lamp that tall could have a tendency to be a little bit top heavy.
Right. I do a lot of lamp repair for friends and stuff, just you know, from being in the business, and just fix them up and make them better.
It's amazing that you can use almost every part of it is decorative except for this one part in here. So you got your finial, I mean, very up to the very top where the bulb is to the base is all a decorative piece.
It is.
With different textures and different sort of coloration on there.
Well, you know, lamps really came from candlesticks.
Right.
You know, where they put the shade on them. And then once electricity came into vogue, you know, they electrified the lamps. You know, there used to be candle lamps. If you look, some of the mission-style lamps, they look like a little pot that would hold oil if you look at the shade. And that's really what they were based on, was an old oil lamp that had a wick on it with the shade and would glow. That's why they used like the mica glass that the light would glow through on. This is reminiscent of a candlestick, and now with the technology that we have, you know, anything's game for a lamp.
It can be electrical.
But just see a lot of like French-mounted things where people take an old antique piece and put it on a French mount and turn that into a lamp.
Now, Derek, this is a lamp that we just had a customer purchase, and they would like us to remove the plastic, right?
Also, I always recommend when you're unwrapping them to use scissors. I don't know how they wrap these things. I don't know who has the patience.
I know.
Yeah, they wrap them very well. It's amazing. But I just run the scissors across, and with the string shade, you've got to be really careful.
Yeah, I noticed that, because you don't want to be cutting any of those beautiful strings on here.
We pack things to go home here at the store. A lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but we have instances where people, you know, they think we've wrapped it for one of those Samsonite commercials where the gorilla used to throw the things around. We wrap it enough to make it home in the back seat of your car. So you've got to be careful when you're driving around. a lot of times we'll buckle things into the back seat, and customers are like, well, that's a really great idea. Well, this will show enough of the detail of our lamp here. But this is a satin string.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Isn't that nice? It's actually just a plastic frame on the shade itself. You know, wire frame, plastic overlay, and then the silk strings on top of it. And
you know, that'd be just beautiful. It catches a little bit of the light, but not only the light, but like if you have the windows open. I mean, just the slightest little breeze would blow that. It'd be really beautiful.
And the base here is kind of an obelisk that's Frank Lloyd Wright inspired.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Now, Derek, this lamp is just gorgeous. It is like the epitome of romance to me.
Isn't that beautiful? The peacock design shade. And look at the different types of glass that are in here. This is part of the Dale Tiffany collection.
Okay.
And we brought in a few more Tiffany lamps. A while back we had Tiffany lamps, and they were okay. And we've really been looking for the best, and we finally found them. And there's like almost like volcanic glass that's in here at the top. Isn't that
something? You know, I like the way
gems?
these chains hang. I mean, that's just kind of, again, it's got a real flowing look to it. It's like free form.
Isn't that
it's
beautiful?
Really
and also, if you notice, it's just loose chains.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's just kind of a loose look because actually the support is from the rod here.
And now this is like a swag lamp then, or?
It's just a hanging lamp.
A hanging lamp, okay.
And, which is nice because you can hang it at different levels. This is, as you can see, the bulbs are exposed here.
Okay, and that's kind of, in Tiffany lamps, I noticed that that's acceptable. That's okay to be able to see the light bulbs.
It's a three-way. You pull the switch and so that off, and then you got these two on, and you've got that one on, and then all three on.
Oh, and that's great, depending on if you're reading on the couch or if you just want it to be really light for a TV watching.
I think that'd be, wouldn't that look great over a roll-top desk?
That'd be really beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yes, it would be.
How they've created this is it's got wrought iron.
Yes.
And then it's a fiberglass frame, so the light can come through it. Very thin fiberglass frame. And then it's actual stone, cut stone that is worked into it. So these are actual little pieces of stone, slices of stone.
It almost looks like a shell effect from down here looking. It'd be awesome over a bed or under, over a dining table.
Isn't that
would be just beautiful.
And we'll also, if you get it the right height, this has got to be placed in the right distance from the ceiling because it'll also cast light up to the ceiling. But there's a beautiful warm glow to this light.
That is gorgeous, and that leads me up to my next question. As far as with over the dining table, is there a rule of thumb on what your lamp height should be?
Over your dining table, for dining table fixtures, dining fixtures, it's 60 inches off the floor, which is 5 feet, or 30 inches from your tabletop, which is standard. Okay. Now, sometimes visually you may want to raise it, and it does go to personal preference, but 30 inches off the top of the table is a good rule to start with, and say, okay, I can vary a few inches here.
And that's just safe so the men aren't getting up and hitting their heads, or basically, or you get a good amount of light over the whole entire table.
Yes, and you can fit a floral arrangement under there, or candlesticks, or whatever's on your table.
Now, Derek, this is a beaded lamp. Which
kind of like the same look as the string shade.
Yeah.
But it's actual beadwork.
Now, and I noticed even on the, I guess you would call this again, the actual base of it is all beaded.
And like I was talking before, a removable plug. So that's a sign of a really good quality lamp, is that they've given you the removable plug so that you can trim it to fit. So they've done their homework.
And then again, you've got your little pulls here to either go on that side, two-way lamp again, or there. And it's got a lot of weight to that click. It isn't flimsy at all.
It's good really mechanics.
Yeah. Now, Derek, these are the Van Til lamps in the color. This is my favorite in the whole store. I just love this
Van Til is how we started with lighting here in the store. It was the first lighting line. We had one or two, few lamps. Remember back when we started out, 10,000 square feet, little gift store, and we've grown over the past 12 years to get a little bit larger and carry more diverse merchandise. But Van Til has grown along with us, and they kind of started out at the same time we did back in '88. Beautiful. They did a lot of clear acrylic, but now they do the colored acrylic, and the styles are just
So this is an acrylic here, and then again, in the way that actually you can see all the anatomy, again, you can see this bar down there, but it doesn't really take away from the...
No, and once again, it's that threaded steel bar, but what they've done is they've drilled each piece out and finished the inside of each piece of acrylic, so you don't see that threaded steel bar. Another detail here is look at the lampshade.
Oh,
see how
that is really
not a round shade, but it's kind of a flattened out shade.
And would you consider this a paper shade that's painted on the inside?
It's a painted paper shade that's gilded on the inside, so it gives a wonderful golden light.
So that gold on the inside of the lamps, again, that gives just a warm gold light to the room.
Yeah.
Gibson's in Fountain Valley, the perfect choice for Orange County's designers and decorators. Newly expanded to over 40,000 square feet, you'll find more than ever fine furnishings, accessories, and gifts for the home. Unsurpassed quality, beauty, and one-of-a-kind pieces. Florals, lifelike, and rich in vibrant colors. Fountains in every shape and size. Hundreds to choose from for indoors and out. Over 10,000 square feet of patio furniture featuring the area's largest selection of teak from the world's finest manufacturers. Furnishings including sofas, tables, love seats and lamps, all quality crafted to last a lifetime. Bronzes imported from Europe in life-size statuary, containers and fountains. Art for your home and garden for every taste and style. The value and selection have never been better at Gibson's, the store of distinction. Exit the 405 at Euclid in Fountain Valley.
Yeah, Jim, well, it's been a long time since we've been here, it seems like, anyway, a couple weeks anyway.
Been a few weeks.
But you've come a long ways.
Yeah.
Now, we'd like to talk about some of the finish work that you're doing in the house. For example, these columns.
Right.
They're spectacular. What are they, about 16, 18 feet tall?
These columns are about, 16, 17 feet tall.
Now, how did you get these columns inside of this house? I mean, this is amazing. Let's take a look at it here.
All right.
So how tall is this column, Jim?
These columns run about 16, 17 feet high, all the way up to the top of the dome. They're actually made out of hard composite styrofoam on the inside with a hard shell on the outside.
So they're lightweight?
Lightweight, yeah.
So do they come in halves, or do they come in one column, or?
They come both ways. They come full columns and also halves, depending where your structural poles are. Wherever your columns are structurally, those are the halves. They fit around.
I see. So there's supporting poles inside of this column.
Inside, on some of them, yeah.
Right, and this is a wrap around that.
Wrap around that, right. They
Interesting.
Wrap it, fill the seams and sand it smooth.
So could two men handle this?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, easily.
Well, this is wonderful.
Very easy.
Yeah, it's coming out great. And I see that you've got the crown molding up here on the top side of this area here. And I guess, is that lighting that's going to be in that recess around the dome?
Yeah, lighting in the recessed area on the top of the dome. Double cove molding, top and bottom.
Okay, so now, Jim, I see you've got the railings covered here because they're painting this area.
Right.
And so now, is that a custom rail? I mean, how do they bend these things?
All the rails custom. They actually have machinery that'll bend it. They make a template and then they bend it towards that template. It's a slow process. They bend it, fit it, adjust it, bend it again, fit it until they get exactly the right contour and the right shape of the railing.
That it wraps around here, and it's going to have a column here, I understand, on the end of this.
Right, it'll wrap around that column right there with
it's beautiful.
A brass cap.
Yeah. Too bad it's covered today. We can take a look at it. Okay, so this is the master bedroom, Jim, and boy, this is something. Look at the detailing. How do they get that detailing like that to go around without breaking?
That's a special molding. It's a flex molding. It's actually almost like rubberized molding. There's a piece of it right here.
Like this piece here. Oh, I see.
It's a flex molding.
Oh, I see. So is this a rubber, or is this a...
It's like a rubberized molding. It's a special order.
Amazing. I have never seen this before.
Make it out of molds and custom made.
Well, it sure does make a pretty job. You can't tell whether it's wood or rubber or fiberglass or whatever.
Right. Once they piece it together, and you can't tell at all.
That's amazing. And then you've got the fireplace over here, and you're doing all this corbels and stuff like this. Really pretty.
Yeah, we extended the mantle part of it and put some nice corbels down below to really accent it.
Now, is there one trade that does this kind of work?
Finished carpenters are responsible for doing all that finished work on the mantles and the legs and the hearth and all, yeah.
He's doing a great job.
Real good.
What's his name?
Talented. Mark Lorenzo.
Oh, man. He's got a real talent, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really is.
All right. And then this, they're coming up with the marble. And also there's going to be columns around the
right, we have 4 columns going around the tub.
Here.
Right, 4 columns around the tub. As soon as we get the marble slab set, we'll be setting the columns.
Unbelievable. This is interesting stuff. And this is what is this?
This is called precast trim. It goes around some of the doors and windows in the house. It's also made out of foam with a hard shell covering. They have a mesh back. They coat this with a concrete-like substance and then epoxy it right to the stucco on the house.
That's unbelievable. Look at this piece. It's lightweight, yet it's durable, isn't it? It'll last a long time?
Sure, it lasts a very long time, yeah.
Well, the detailing and the finish work takes a long, long time to do in a house that has so much custom detailing to it. And as you can see, they're doing a wonderful job. Jim, this is the family room.
Family
and
room,
I see you've got another fireplace here. I guess there's, what, 4 or 5 fireplaces in the home?
4 fireplaces, right, yeah. This one's similar to the master, has the extended hearth on it with the corbels. This one goes full height up to the ceiling detail.
Real pretty piece.
Yeah.
And then I can see we've got the recessed ceilings in here.
Recessed
this is going to be really
right.
nice. Yep. And then as we look around over here at the kitchen.
This is called, it's a bullnose. It's an OG, which is just set in, and it's a double bullnose. It's a 2 1/4 inch thickness. OG double bullnose is what they call that type of edge design, edge detail.
And this is, they're going to put it on top of this?
Right, to put it on top of this too, bullnose both sides. And actually have a light strip underneath the counter, under counter lighting with a light strip under counter.
I see. Is it true this will be under the crown molding will have
crown
lights
molding
behind
have recessed lighting inside the crown molding also, yeah. More accent lighting.
This is the working station here. Yep.
This is the island sink with the vegetable sink in it.
Refrigerator over here, I understand.
Yeah, refrigerator there.
Stove in the corner.
Stove, range hidden behind here.
Yeah.
Again, details with the corbels on either side. And detail in the molding.
Well, they're beautiful cabinets.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a cooktop here.
Right, a hot plate there.
There'll be a deep fryer on this side over here. Right. We've got 2 dishwashers coming in, right? And this is going to be the refrigeration unit here with the pull-out drawers for the vegetable bins. And then we've got the
butler's pantry.
Butler's pantry, and we've got the other pantry in here.
And the regular food pantry that's being built right now.
Wow.
Right.
All right, so Jim, this is unbelievable. So what's the schedule now? How are we?
Schedule now is, now the finished carpentry will be finished today or tomorrow, building the pantry, doing this little detail work. Starting next week, we finish off all the countertops. All the granite tops will be in next week. And as soon as the granite tops are in, then their crews will be coming in to start doing the floors. Floors are going to be all run in cream Marfell, 24 by 24, 3/4 inch thick. And that'll be fine. You know, we're trying to save that to last, try and protect the floors as long as possible. The only thing going in after the floors will be the finished carpenter come back again and run his last molding along the bottom. And then,
I see that's what you were talking about earlier.
That's why it's raised higher here, because to allow for the stone underneath.
I see.
And then the painter comes in, and he'll finish his prime work and then start foaming all the woodwork in here.
Okay, so about 2 weeks. We'll be back to see you in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
Gibson's in Fountain Valley, the perfect choice for Orange County's designers and decorators. Newly expanded to over 40,000 square feet, you'll find more than ever fine furnishings, accessories, and gifts for the home. Unsurpassed quality, beauty, and one-of-a-kind pieces. Florals, lifelike, and rich in vibrant colors. Fountains in every shape and size. Hundreds to choose from for indoors and out. Over 10,000 square feet of patio furniture featuring the area's largest selection of teak from the world's finest manufacturers. Furnishings including sofas, tables, love seats, and lamps, all quality crafted to last a lifetime. Bronzes imported from Europe in life-size statuary, containers and fountains. Art for your home and garden for every taste and style. The value and selection have never been better at Gibson's, the store of distinction. Exit the 405 at Euclid in Fountain Valley.
Thanks for watching today.
We'll see you next time at Home with Gibson's.